listen to those messages and know if it's time to go.
Even if you don't have internet, this could be done by word of mouth, it can be done by radio, or it could be us driving down the street, so please know your zone.
From Truckee to Lake of the Pines, from Chicago Park to Spenceville. Every single square mile of Nevada County has a zone. And having a zone that you know for your neighborhood is going to help you save time to be able to evacuate and keep you and your family safe.
Ready Nevada County is an education campaign designed to help the public have successful outcomes during emergency events. We really focus on a whole host of disasters or emergency events. We want to have a broad spectrum. We want to be prepared for anything, but really we focus a lot on wildfire because we know that's one of the most likely events to happen in Nevada County.
Ready, Set, Go is really built around the wildfire premise to prepare residents to be ready before an event, to move into the set posture when there's a red flag or a fire is near you, and then to go when it's time to go.
Essentially, in its simplest form, it's a three-tiered community emergency preparedness plan.
I have lived in this house, which we built, my husband and I, 26 years ago now, actually. We selected the hardy plank, the concrete siding, and also the metal roof. Then when we moved up here and heard about the 49er fire, that's when we started to say, wow, this really is even more important than we first realized.
So the 49er fire is one of the most historic fires in Nevada County's history. They figured it changed the laws of the state of California that said this is how you have to protect your home. That came out of Nevada County.
Steve Eubanks came from the Fire Safe Council, and the main thing we needed to pay attention to was the ladder fuels. Planting has been removed from the edges of the house so that it does not touch the house. It was an incredible service from the Fire Safe Council to come out and spend a couple of hours going through this property.
So the ready phase is when there's no immediate threat to you and your family. This is the time when you should be doing education and planning, whether that be training, educating yourself, or accumulating equipment, hardening your home, creating defensible space.
Defensible space is really all about creating a buffer zone between your house and flammable vegetation. We really focus on defensible space around the home, that first 100 feet, but also around the roadway too. Another aspect of the ready phase is hardening the home, and really what that means is making your home more resilient to wildfire.
That's going to be putting the fine-grained mesh around the vents of your home so that embers won't get under your house or into the eaves of your house. That's going to be using non-combustible materials on your deck and around your home. So when an ember storm comes through, it's not going to ignite your home itself.
I currently live here in Grass Valley with my parents. All of us have sleep apnea, so we all have CPAP machines that require power in order to run.
I also use a nebulizer, and that's used to disperse medication that I need to get myself breathing again. When we have safety shutoffs, we have to hook up our equipment to batteries that have inverters.
We have a generator that powers some of the things around the house, but then I obtained a pretty substantial battery from Freed, and it was so easy to go through the process to obtain a battery that I would recommend it to anyone who might have medical needs that require.
All right, you ready? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the April 7th Board of Supervisors meeting. Would you please stand and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance Thank you. All right, corrections or deletions to the agenda?
There are no corrections or deletions, Chair.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to announce that unfortunately Supervisor Bullock is not with us today. He's dealing with a family emergency. All right, first item up is our consent. These items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. The Board of Supervisors will act upon them at one time without discussion. Any board member may request that an item be removed from the consent calendar for discussion. So if anybody is wanting to make public comment on the consent, now is the time to call in. So at this time, I would open public comment on the consent calendar. If there's any public comment on consent? No? Any callers?
No callers,
No
Chair.
callers. Okay. Did anybody want to pull anything off of consent? No? All right. Seeing none, I will ask for a motion and a second.
So moved.
Roll call.
District 1,
Yes.
District 5 absent, District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes. All right. Now we're going to go into general public comment. Members of the public shall be allowed to address the Board of Supervisors on items that are not appearing on today's agenda and are of interest to the public and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Speakers are encouraged but not required to give their name and district of residence. And please direct your comments to us up here. All right, thank you.
Good morning, Chair Swarthout, members of the board, and CEO Lehman. My name is Lynn Hodson. I live in Rough and Ready, and I serve as the Executive Director of Sammy's Friends. First, I want to begin by thanking the county partnership that exists today between Nevada County and Sammy's Friends. What we are building together is something very special, a model that combines public responsibility with community compassion to serve the animals and people of Nevada County. Over the past month, we have been working side by side with county staff to strengthen this partnership and continue evolving the way we care for animals in the community. Together, we are moving toward what is often called socially conscious sheltering, a model that focuses not just on housing animals, but on supporting their physical health, mental well-being, and successful placement into homes. That means expanding foster programs so animals can spend time in homes rather than long periods in kennels. It means behavioral support for animals experience fear, trauma, or stress. It means enrichment programs that keep animals mentally engaged and healthy while they wait for their families. And it means strong partnerships and broader community support, including spay and neuter. Nevada County is fortunate to have an extraordinary community of volunteers and animal advocates who support this work. Sammy's Friends is proud to help and harness that energy and direct it toward the shared goal of better outcomes for animals. But while the philosophy of sheltering has evolved dramatically over the last decade, the building we operate in does not. The current shelter was not designed for the type of care we now know animals require. The facility limits our ability to reduce stress, manage disease, provide proper enrichment, and create the calm environment animals need to thrive and become adoptable. In fact, the environment itself can unintentionally contribute to the very stress and behavioral decline we're working so hard to prevent. Simply put, the work we are trying to do together has outgrown the building we're trying to do it in. A modern shelter will allow Nevada County to fully implement the practices that research and experience show lead to healthier animals, faster placements, stronger community engagement, and more efficient operations. Today, you will hear from the county behaviorist, Lee Ron, who works directly with the animals every day. He will share more specifically how the current facility impacts behavior, stress, and adoptability. A modern shelter is not just an investment in animals. It is an investment in better outcomes, stronger partnerships, and a system that works more efficiently for Nevada County. We hope you will support the path toward a new shelter so the care, dedication, and partnership we built together can truly reach its full potential. The compassion is already here in Nevada County. A new shelter simply gives that compassion the space to work. Thank you for your time and continued commitment to the animals and people of Nevada County.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Leron Liftick. I'm a master's student in shelter medicine at the University of Florida, and I serve as the behavior consultant for Nevada County Animal Services, assessing animals, supporting their welfare, and preparing them for placement. I'm asking you this morning to consider what the science tells us before this design is finalized. Environment is not a backdrop to behavior. Environment is its primary driver. This is not an opinion. It's the foundational principle behind every modern advancement in applied animal behavior. When dogs are housed in loud, confined, indoor, single-room kennels with no decompression space and no separation from constant sensory input, the environment itself becomes the source of the problem. Chronic noise and confinement produce fear, withdrawal, and reactivity, not because of who these animals are, but because of where they are asked to live. Research in applied animal behavior sciences documents significant elevated cortisol, increased vocalization, and stereotypic behaviors within days of admission, responses attributed to housing, not to the individual animal. Dr. Alexandra Protopopova and colleagues have demonstrated that design variables, visual barriers, noise reduction, retreat spaces, measurably reduce these stress indicators. The Association of Shelter Veterinarians is explicit. Housing design is a primary determinant of welfare outcomes. This is not theoretical. We have a case study right here in our own county. We have watched animals deteriorate in conditions that were never designed to support them. The plan on the table risks repeating that in a brand new building. On the numbers, the kennel count in this design is insufficient to meet today's intake demands, let alone the growth this county is already experiencing. The facility that cannot absorb today's volume has failed its mission before the first animal walks through the door. We will be overcrowded, cutting corners on housing protocols out of necessity, and every consequence I've described will be compounded by sheer volume. Building too small is not a conservative financial decision. It's a guarantee of greater costs in staff safety, liability, welfare outcomes, and public trust. Modern shelter design accounts for this. Quieter kennel constructions, separation spaces, decompression areas, and dedicated behavior spaces are not luxuries. They're infrastructures that keep animals emotionally intact long enough to find a home. When we cut corners, we pay in longer lengths of stay, behavioral deterioration, unsafe work environments, and animals that are harder to place. When we get the environment right, animals remain who they actually are. When we get it wrong, we're not seeing the animal, we're seeing the kennel. I urge you to build the right environment and to build enough of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else for general public comment for items that are not on the agenda?
Hi, my name is Jeff Litton, and Division 3. A couple things. One, I'm going to be giving a presentation with the Sierra Club at the Oddfellows Hall in April 25th on Saturday night, and I wanted to extend an invitation to everyone because it's a virtual exploration. It's like a deep dive to show you the hidden sections of Bear River, including the 9 miles that were going to be flooded by Centennial Dam, which thankfully we stopped. But there's some really beautiful areas that I think are really incredible opportunities for recreation for our community and also for Placer County. So I'll be doing that on the 25th. And also it's an exploration into the Colorado River, kind of the same thing, and also telling a little bit about the story of how we stopped both the dams that were proposed on the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon back in the 60s with Sierra Club, and then also how a lot of the community came together and rallied to save this section in Bear River. But more interestingly, I think, is the forward-looking vision. So we're trying to set up a panel with many of our groups to look at what are possibilities that we could do and future things there. So just wanted to extend that invitation. And then the second point that I wanted to bring up, it's kind of I feel like our community really needs the help from the county right now, because we're in this tricky situation where Nevada irrigation customers, especially in the Grass Valley, Nevada City region, we don't have any representation on the board because we're not part of their division. The divisions are usually meant for like irrigation, but meanwhile, we really don't have anybody speaking for us on the board. And so it sets us up for failure in a lot of different ways because we don't have that representation. And one of the examples of that is that under NID's management, we went really far down the road for Centennial Dam, and we spent somewhere between $15 and $20 million working on that project, and it was actually arguably illegally done in a lot of ways. Probably around $11 million of that was spent illegally, in that the project hadn't gone through CEQA, California Environmental Quality Act, and so it really hadn't been approved. But meanwhile, NID, under the management of Rem Scherzinger, was buying up millions and millions and millions of dollars of property and creating this huge debt, which now our community is now burdened with. And now, we had a 35% tax rate over the last 5 years, and now they're looking at a 100% water rate increase over the next 5 years. And so we're really now challenged with this burden of poor management. And I think that if we had better management, I think we need 2 more divisions to be created, one to represent Nevada City and one to represent Grass Valley. That would make 7 divisions in NID. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Mullen. I don't know if this topic is coming up later on the agenda. If it is,
Can you just get a little closer to the microphone? There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Mullen, and I don't know if what I'm about to bring up is later in the agenda, in which case I apologize for speaking now. But let me just read a short prepared statement, less than 30 seconds. No ice, but today the action taken or not taken equals silence. This is not only about ice. This is almost directly involved in the war crimes already committed in Iran and the horrific new mass destruction Trump is threatening today. When we do nothing, we are complicit with these crimes. And I'd like to just distribute these to anyone who will take them.
Hi, Lily Marie Mora, and I reside in Grass Valley, California. I'm here to...
Excuse me one second, Lily Marie. Sir, you just, whatever you have for us, you can just give to the clerks, and they'll make sure we get it. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. I came today to speak about the NID rate hike also. I realize that you don't have jurisdiction over that agency, but people in the chamber need to know that whether they're treated water customers in Grass Valley, Nevada City, or surrounding area, or raw water customers for ag or golf courses or others, that we're having a 12.5% increase in our water rates in the next 5 years. That's per year, which adds up to about 80%. And because of Proposition 18 that was passed in 1996, we have a right to protest that rate hike. And so I encourage the public to do that. But why I'm here today to speak to the board specifically is we have 1,500 dams in California, 600 are high hazard, and they're all over 50 years old. And so this is a more than a Nevada County problem. This is a statewide problem, and I'm asking the Board of Supervisors to work with all the water districts across the state, all the Board of Supervisors across the state, all the city councils, chambers of commerce, environmental organizations like Spirit, because we need to build a lobbying effort as the 4th leading economy in the world. We can do this, and we can lobby FEMA and or CAL FIRE and different agencies that could bring money to help us repair all these dams across California. It's really extremely important that we get started right away, because we're in an election year, and in 2 years we're going to be in another election year. So this is a time for California to stand up and work together to help our country, because this affects all of our economies. It affects our tax base. Ranchers are facing huge water bills. One man has 40 cows, and he already pays a $9,000 bill. Another guy has a $23,000 bill. This was all brought forward at the March 25th NID meeting. And agriculture is part of our fire protection. It is extremely important. We don't need the money. They can give it to NID, but we need to not keep being charged these excessive rates. it'll put us out of business. All right.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. Lee French, Shalta Sierra, District 2, Rob Tucker's district. I need to talk again about the RV ordinance. I don't see it on the agenda. I know that you have put it on hold or sent it back for some clarifications and so on, but those clarifications aren't really going to solve the problem that of unintended negative consequences that the ordinance reaps on our county, our citizens, and our communities. I think we need to reevaluate what the negative consequences are. They've been called out many times, and I won't repeat them. But we do need to take a look at that ordinance and say, okay, we really haven't done anything with it. We've sent it back, we've delayed a little bit, but it's not going to come back and solve any of the negative consequences that are contained within it. So please take a look at it again and understand that there are many things in there that will impact not only your constituents, but those who come to this wonderful area to enjoy the history, which could be destroyed by this, and it'll cut back on our businesses, etc. So let's take a real solid thinking look at the ordinance, and let's not pass this ordinance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the chambers for general public comment? Any callers, Loriana?
We have one caller, Chair.
Okay, bring the caller in.
Hello, good morning. This is Song Cowbell calling from Penn Valley. I want to talk about the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm sure that since the meeting is over, you guys have stood and pledged allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. And it's that last line I just said, for liberty and justice for all, that I want to talk about. It doesn't say in there for liberty and justice if you're white. It doesn't say it's liberty and justice for all if you're male, if you're well off, if you have been given, money or land or, resources through your parents that you have gained. It doesn't say anything like that. It says justice for all, liberty and justice for all. So when you stand and you take that pledge at these meetings, I'm holding you accountable to that. Now, I will tell you, I quit standing for the flag when I was 10 years old. As a child, watching my father get off planes, he was a flight engineer, as they unloaded hundreds of caskets from the plane in the Vietnam War. That image is burned into my psychic from a little tiny girl. And I realized then, in the 4th grade, when we all stood and said that it was a lie. It might be something that we aspire to be, but I was 10 and I'm 68, and I don't see any difference. And so I'm wondering for how many of you are on this board. When just to mention the thing before, the man before who didn't want the people to move in, because let's not let people who are homeless who live in this county or who grew up in this county and can't afford a home, because somebody might want to learn about the history. So I'm just wondering what that means to all of you when you stand and put your hand on your heart and say liberty and justice for all, because you're in a place of power. Listening to the news where our president, who many of you voted for, are threatening to annihilate a complete civilization in our name, in our tax dollars, in the name of liberty and justice for all. You are accountable to how you treat our residents, how you treat the homeless, how you treat the black, the brown, the poor, the single women, the single mothers, the broken, the disability. You're in that place of power, and a lot of you are the haves, as opposed to the haves not coming to get 3 minutes to ask you if they could live in a trailer or maybe a fifth wheel because they can't afford anything else. And remember what Jesus said, because y'all are big on Jesus. He said, how you treat them is how you treat me. So I'm watching, and I'm wondering, individually, do you really believe in liberty?
Thank you. All right.
Chair, we do have one more caller.
Okay, go
Sorry.
ahead. Take the call.
Hi, this is Matthew Coulter calling from the Grass Valley Police Station lobby where I'm getting jerked off currently. So waiting here, I was planning on being there in person, so that's how long I've been waiting here in the lobby to do something that they said to come at 8 o'clock and do. You guys really need to be aware of what's going on in the county. I don't think you are. I think you gather with like-minded individuals and slap each other's backs and agree with each other. But the fact of the matter is we've had multiple murders, multiple pedestrian deaths, and multiple child rapes recently in the county. And no one really seems to be taking an interest in these very basic health and safety things, but instead do all kinds of fancy projects that take lots of money. I'm a little confused of why the county gave out my HIPAA information to the GVPD. I'm a little confused why I continually become arrested by the club members who don't like me to see them doing crimes. Right now, right next door to the GVPD, federal crimes going on. No one wants to do anything about it. As my elected officials and appointed officials of Nevada County, California, USA, as a disabled veteran, I request that my Board of Supervisors become involved in the community. And that doesn't mean going to like-minded meetings and agreeing with people. That means hearing things that you might not want to hear. It might be hard to hear that the pasty shop right across from City Hall was raping children and had a bunch of stained mattresses in it. That's unpleasant stuff, but that's the reality of what's going on here in town. And for our elected officials to ignore it and jump on my spine because I bring these things to light is completely outrageous and obvious and blatant that there's this involvement from the city to the county of this corruption that is just to the core of this poor place. It is sad. That meeting yesterday was sad that you would let a person that has broken the law for years be approved to go ahead and do whatever he wants. So, good luck out there. It's going to be one wild, hot, fiery summer because that's what we've made. A nest for people to burn. Thank you.
All right. Any other callers, Loriana? No? Okay. All right. We will close public hearing, public comment, and move on to our next item. We are now going to recess as the Board of Supervisors and convene as the Nevada County Sanitation District. And we have one item on the consent calendar. So at this point, I would open public comment if anybody has comment on the consent calendar for the Sanitation District. No? All right. Seeing none, we'll close public comment, and I would entertain a motion to approve the consent.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
District 1.
Yes.
District 5, absent. District 2.
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
District 3.
Yes. All right. Yep. That was our only item for consent, and now we'll go into general public comment on the sanitation district. Does anybody have any general public comment? No? Seeing none, we'll close that. And we will now adjourn as the Sanitation District and go back to reconvene as the Nevada County Board of Supervisors. All right. Our next item number 17, our Public Health Director, Kathy Cahill. Come on down. Good morning.
Kathy Cahill, Public Health Director, and with me this morning is Toby Gavin, our Program Manager for Health and Wellness. And we're here to celebrate Public Health Week. This week is nationally recognized as Public Health Week, and that means two things. One is we are here to recognize all the good work that goes on in public health to make our communities safe and protect us from communicable diseases, as well as making people healthier through lots of different programs. And we're going to speak today particularly about our mobile health program that we're doing to inform you of how that's working. And then secondly, the purpose of Public Health Week is really to celebrate all of the public health workforce across the country and here in Nevada County, as well as all of our partners who work with us every day to ensure the health and wellness of this community, including our environmental health program, our public health department, and many, many partners, which you'll hear a little bit this morning from Toby about. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Toby, and he's going to, here, you just need to move these, share with you a little bit about our current program that we're working on with mobile health.
Great, thanks, Kathy. Chair Swarthout, members of the board, thanks for the opportunity to share a little bit about both Public Health Week. Today is actually World Health Day as well, so appropriate that we're presenting. We're going to talk a little bit just about our CHA CHIP process. Our CHA is our Community Health Assessment and our Community Health Improvement Plan. And so this is a multi-year process that public health departments go through in order to develop our priorities. And as Kathy mentioned, we're going to talk mostly about our mobile health priority. But we, through this process, have worked with 39 organizations. We held a number of community meetings. We did a community-wide survey to ensure that our priorities reflected the needs of the community. And we developed, through that process, 3 goals, including access to early child care and education, our mobile health, and immunizations. You can see to the right some of the partners that we have worked with through this process. And so we're really excited about our Mobile Health Coalition and the activities. You can see right here our 2025 CSAC Challenge Award that we received for our mobile health efforts. This includes our dental program where we do school-based screenings and care. We've recently expanded this program to provide additional care to Medi-Cal eligible kids and residents because of the lack of access to care. Right now, we're actually is the 3rd day of 3 in a clinic that we're doing at Truckee Elementary School, where we're providing care to more than 20 Medi-Cal eligible students there. And really, just in hearing some of the feedback from that clinic, we have some kiddos who it's their first time seeing a dentist, their first time getting a cleaning, not because they don't want access to care, but because it's so challenging with the lack of Medi-Cal providers that we have for dental. So very excited about that program and the work that we're doing to expand access to care. Our health supply vending machines continue to be very successful. In the last 12 months, we've provided 7,267 free health supplies through those vending machines to folks. So really excited about that. We continue to see an increase in demand for those. Want to make sure that folks have access to toothbrushes and basic supplies, health supplies as well. And then the mobile health clinics is what we'll focus much of the time on. These mobile health clinics we've done for a number of years, a variety of different types of mobile health clinics. We've done our dental program health clinics, we've done immunization clinics, we've done HIV and Hep C testing in mobile clinics. But in these clinics, we are providing all of those services in one place. And so we're doing a three-part pilot project at the Commons Resource Center. So again, leveraging partnerships that we have through behavioral health and some of the key facilities that we have now within the county. And so these are at the fourth Monday of each month, so February 23rd, March 23rd, and then we'll have one later in April. And this is really an opportunity for us to bring all of these services together, to leverage the partnerships. The Mobile Health Coalition that we bring together has a number of organizations that are supporting these efforts. And one of the things that's been really nice to see is the growth of the number of partners that are at the table as we move forward with this clinic. We know that people want to access care on a consistent basis, on a regular basis. And so we saw an increase from 12 patients served on the first pilot program all the way up to 35 patients served in the second one. And we have our third one coming up in April. The services that we provide, immunizations, HIV and Hep C testing, dental, and then benefits navigation. So we partnered with Department of Social Services to provide access to one of their staff members to help people enroll in Medi-Cal, CalFresh, and other benefit programs if they're eligible. And so again, in our second pilot project, we heard in our first pilot project the need for wound care for folks who are at that clinic. And so we partnered with Yuba Harm Reduction Collective and their wound care pop-up to bring them and a physician to provide that type of wound care. We also partnered with Interfaith Food Ministry, who offered to bring food packages there for folks who were receiving services. And pretty creative, innovative bike repair. There's an organization that provides free bike repair from down in Sacramento who came up to provide part of that clinic, because we really need to make sure that folks can get to access our health clinics and accessing care there. So it's been really nice to see the growth already in the second pilot, and then the third one we're really excited for in April. And just also want to give a shout out to the staff members who are here, who are working incredibly hard and creatively in pulling off these mobile health clinics and making sure that once we're done with the pilots, we're ready to move forward with additional clinics in other locations across the county. And here are just some wonderful pictures of our staff and folks receiving services at these mobile clinics. And thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Kathy, did you have more that you want to add?
No, just to say thank you, Board, for your support of this program over the years. And particularly, I just want to celebrate our workforce and our public health team, many of which are here today, who are amazing people who pull this off. So I just get to talk about it. They're the ones who get to do all the work. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thanks for being here, and thanks for all the hard work that you guys put into this. So we'll ask questions of the board. Heidi, any questions, comments?
Yeah, no questions, but I'm so glad we get the opportunity to thank you and celebrate the work you do during this week, because that work is so incredibly important. I also want to thank the staff who have done so much good work out in the community, being creative, adding the wound care, adding the bikes, adding the food. I mean, I feel like your job is just getting harder right now all the time with the, shortage of support and changing of the whole vaccine, protocol and so on. So you guys keep doing this great work. I don't think a lot of people often in the county know how much you and we do to support our folks in need. And this is such critical care given to people early. I love the dental clinics are always, I know, really popular. Thank you for hanging in there. Thanks for your really great work. Thank you for being creative and continuing to build out and as you learn of additional needs. So keep us informed, keep us aware of what more you might need, and thank you so very much.
Sue?
Yeah, I do think it's opportunity, because it's not just this month or this week, it's what we celebrate you all year for the work that you do and what you do in our community. I love it. Even our Cherry Festival, you gals all show up, and it really does make a difference in our small communities that really feel a little underserved. And it just makes a huge difference. The vending machines are being used, and I think that's important. like I said, there's just little steps all over that make it special for people, and you make everyone feel so welcome when they come. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It feels energized by the games that you can play sometimes and educate at the same time. So really appreciate the work that you all do. It's really important. And again, it's always done with just a smile and such a passion that you make people feel so welcome and want to be in a place where they can get help. And I think that is a huge process all by itself. So much appreciation to all of you here, and thanks for being here to let us celebrate you today.
Thanks. Rob?
Yeah, I would just echo what my colleague said, and thank you to you and your staff for all the work you do. And you kind of glossed over it, but I think that was a big deal, the CSAC Challenge Award. I know a number of us were there to see it, and it was really cool to see, statewide, you being recognized for what you do, and not just here in the community. So keep up the good work. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Yes, thank you. And I will say with the CSAC Challenge Award, the thing that I was most impressed with was we are competing with counties who have far greater resources than what we have. And to see the work that we do with not the same amount of resources that some of these big places has is very impressive. And that's a testament to your leadership and your staff and how much they care about the people in our community. So thank you. So at this point, I will open it up for public comment. Is there anybody who would like to speak to this? No? Allison?
Well, thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to share my appreciation for you, Kathy, and for the leadership that you provide. And thank you, Toby, for all your great work. I continue to hear community feedback from our hospital, from our schools, from our stakeholders, just the amazing work that you do, not only the direct service, but the connections that you make to really expand health programs for our entire community. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Loriana, any callers?
No callers, Chair.
Okay. Then I will close the public hearing, and I'm going to read the resolution that we have for you. Whereas during the first week of April 2026, Nevada County Public Health will join with public health systems across the country in celebrating the 30th anniversary of National Public Health Week, and the theme is "It Starts Here, Your Health is Our Mission." Whereas since 1995, the American Public Health Association has brought together communities across the United States during the first full week of April to observe National Public Health Week as a time to recognize the contributions of public health, and in doing so, reaffirm its role in the national movement of people, communities, and organizations who are working to ensure everyone has an opportunity to live a healthy lifestyle. And whereas in participating in the National Public Health Week, Nevada County will focus its efforts on raising awareness of critical public health priorities such as reproductive and sexual health, climate change, prevention of communicable and chronic diseases, emergency preparedness, and advancing health equity. All areas crucial to our future success in creating the healthiest neighborhoods for all residents in Nevada County. And whereas a strong public health system is an essential element in sustaining community health and improving the vitality and quality of life for people of all ages and walks of life, whereas the COVID-19 pandemic magnified the visibility of social inequities prevalent in and between our communities, and has always shown us the importance of a robust public health system that is informed by the cultural nuances of the communities being served. And whereas the pillar of Nevada County's public health system is the extensive and effective collaboration which exists among the wide range of public and private sectors which work to promote and foster a healthy Nevada County for us and for generations to come. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved that the Board of Supervisors proclaims the week of April 6th to 12th as Public Health Week in Nevada County. So thank you all again. At this point, I would look to have a motion to adopt the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call.
District 1.
Yes.
District 5 absent. District 2.
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
District 3.
Yes. And if we could get a picture with you and your staff, that would be great. Yes, thank you. All right, our next item is a resolution proclaiming April 2026 as Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention. Ryan, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan Groover, your Health and Human Services Agency Director, and I have the easy job today of just turning it over and introducing Melody Easton, who is the director of our First Five Commission on which Supervisor Tucker and I sit as commissioners, and she is also representing here today the Child Abuse Prevention Council to give us a presentation and hopefully get the board support in recognizing April as Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month. So turn it over to Melody.
Am I on? Yes. Thank you so much, Board, for welcoming us today. It's really nice that we were able to follow public health because child abuse is a public health concern. It concerns all of us. It knows no county lines. It knows no economic boundaries or race or language boundaries. And so our council, the Child Abuse Prevention Council of Western Nevada County, seeks to bring awareness to that every year. My name is Melody Easton, and as Ryan said, I am the Executive Director of First Five Nevada County, and I am also the Chair of the Child Abuse Prevention Council of Western Nevada County. We have 2 CAPCs in Nevada County, here in Western County, and then one up in Truckee in Eastern County. Our CAPC's mission is to serve as a community council whose primary purpose is to coordinate the community's effort to prevent and respond to child abuse through collaboration and integration of family support services. And you can see on the right there the Welfare and Institution Code by which we are mandated to address the needs of our communities through providing forums for interagency cooperation and collaboration, promote public awareness of abuse and neglect, encourage and facilitate training of professionals in the detection, treatment, and prevention of child abuse and neglect, recommending improvements in services to families and victims, and to encourage and facilitate community support for child abuse and neglect programs. In our world, there are 3 main types of child abuse prevention. There is primary prevention, which are services provided to anyone in our community in the spirit of promoting protective factors, community engagement, reducing isolation, which all ultimately leads to reduced child abuse and neglect in our communities. Secondary intervention, which is more for families that have an identified risk. They're more direct service, a little bit more intensive, where primary prevention may be our family resource centers, our libraries, our public community spaces where families can gather. Secondary prevention may be something like parenting workshops or the Healthy Babies program, other slightly more intensive home visiting services or services to help meet the needs of families. And then tertiary prevention, which is prevention for families where there is a definite need that has come to the surface. Maybe there has been child abuse reports made to the hotline. It's programs like the Rapid Response Team, which is a partnership between the county and Victor Family Services. So really trying to directly meet the needs of families, but also move upstream and prevent child abuse from happening in the first place. Our CAPC is focused on primary prevention. We're out in the community bringing awareness. We're bringing folks together in the spirit of collaboration. And this is how we do it in Western Nevada County. Our CAPC facilitates the Community Support Network, which is in the top left there. And it is our outward-facing collaborative effort of CAPC. We have monthly resource sharing meetings, usually around a specific topic. Maybe it's youth services. Maybe it is around IEPs for families, the different public health programs that are offered in Nevada County. And it's all around service integration, providing an opportunity to folks to learn about programs in Nevada County, the ways that they can partner together to meet the needs of families. I think a lot of times in the nonprofit world, we try and be all things to all people, and we don't need to be. We're really service rich in Nevada County, and the best way we can serve families is by connecting them to our partner agencies through a really warm handoff. Let me call my friend Rachel, let me call my friend so-and-so to refer you to this program. And it's someone that I do have a relationship with and I can vouch for and say, this is a really valid use of your time. Your family is going to get a lot out of it. rather than just giving them a number to call to connect with services. We also put out a newsletter, and in that newsletter we highlight programs of Nevada County through flyers. There's often articles tied around the specific theme for the month, whether it's Mental Health Awareness Month, Child Abuse Prevention Month, Suicide Prevention Month. We try and make sure that there's some articles around that, but really highlighting the free and low-cost activities that families can go out and engage with their community. And as you know, this month is Child Abuse Prevention Month. It's one of our biggest months throughout the year of really hitting the ground running and spreading the word around the child abuse prevention efforts that are happening in Nevada County, ways that people can engage as volunteers or ways that they can engage with their family. This year we had our first annual kickoff event where we brought to attention the Children's Memorial Flag, which is a flag that gets flown in the month of April to honor children who have lost their lives to child abuse and neglect. We've got 3 proclamations, including yours, or resolutions, including yours, the City of Nevada City, City of Grass Valley, and the Nevada County Board of Supervisors. This presentation here. And you may have seen throughout the county the Pinwheel Gardens, which is a really striking visual to bring awareness to Child Abuse Prevention Month, but also highlight the hope that inherently comes with childhood and comes with our opportunity to help change the course of a child's life in Nevada County. Wear Blue for Kids Day, and other community outreach and awareness events through social media, bringing attention to Child Abuse Prevention Month, highlighting opportunities to keep the conversation going. There's a lot of statewide webinars that people can call into. And then our last point where we're really bringing outreach to our community throughout the year is Spooky Bookie, which happens just up the hill at the library, and it's a great way to get families out. We hand out books. A lot of our partners hand out books or treats or trinkets. And it's just a great way to get families out. They come here and they tour the halls. They go up to the library and come see all of the community partners. It's a really fun event. As I mentioned, this month we are honoring Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month. Last week we had our kickoff event on the 2nd at the Miners Foundry. It was a really beautiful event. We had about 100 community providers, community partners. We had the Bikers Against Child Abuse come up from Sacramento to come attend. We brought attention to the Children's Memorial Flag. We heard from a couple of former foster youth who shared their thoughts on how we can improve services for families and meet the needs of children in Nevada County. We had a panel of local providers from CASA to Children's Behavioral Health to Grass Valley Police Department. And it was really great to hear their thoughts on how we can improve services. And it was just a really beautiful event and an opportunity for people to connect with each other and network. On the right here on our flyer, you can see our sponsors and partners for the Pinwheel Gardens. We more than doubled the amount of pinwheels that went out this year out into the community. It was really fun to see the youth out there planting pinwheels. And so from South County up to Truckee, you are sure to find pinwheels somewhere. And this is my very rudimentary map. I am not a surveyor. I think each of my pinwheels probably covers like 5 miles. But this is my rough estimate of where our pinwheels are this year. You can see down by Lake of the Pines, you can see up in Truckee, and then a lot of pinwheel gardens in the Grass Valley, Nevada City area, out to Penn Valley, out to Chicago Park. So the county is covered in pinwheels, and we want to continue to expand that. And I open it up to any questions. I want to bring your attention and the attention of the room to our website link down there at the bottom. We have a brand new shiny website, preventchildabusewNC.org. And there are a lot of great resources for parents there. There's some tools for identifying and reporting child abuse if you think it's happening, and ways that people can plug in with our various meetings and opportunities. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work that you do. Questions, comments from the board? Rob?
Yeah, thanks for that and all the work you do. I know serving on the First Five Commission, with you, Ryan, Bobby, Scott, and the work Rosemary does as well has been really, I think, eye-opening for me and very impactful. And particularly the amount that you guys do with so little, to be honest, and the whole First Five Commission, and including this endeavor. It's just, I've seen firsthand how the cuts kind of filter down, and when you're starting with a very small, tight budget, it's really impactful. Yet the work you're doing, and we see it every meeting, is just so powerful on the ground. So, yeah, I'm just happy to support your mission and publicizing this for this month, and just look forward to continuing to follow and encourage the work that you're doing. So thanks for all you do.
Sue?
Yeah, no, just thanks, Mildy. The work you're involved in so many things with our littles, and it's so important because that's where the base starts, right? And so I just appreciate all the work that goes into this, and what a wonderful set of sponsors that came to and to be included, to step up and really be part of the solution, right? So I really appreciate, thank you to all those people that were all, there's a giant list, so I really appreciate that. So we'll look forward to seeing you next at Spooky Bookie. You'll be here before we know it.
Yeah.
The year's flying. I know. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Heidi?
Yep, thank you for the work you do. I know it's difficult. You're on the difficult side of public health and health of our community, but it's really important what you do. I do have one question. I think I actually already know the answer, but I was involved with CASA as a CASA years and years ago. I talk about that sometimes, that as a CASA, as you're sometimes the only person really clued into what is happening with a child. Your job is to be exclusively representing that child and making sure their needs are being met in the world of law and in parental rights and all of that. What you're doing is the preventative sides, right? So it's before you get there. But I do wonder if you coordinate with CASAs to make sure they understand what you're doing, how they can help that way, and vice versa as well.
Yeah, Child Advocates of Nevada County is a really beloved partner of CAPC as well as First Five. And they have historically been really involved in Child Abuse Prevention Month. I know the CASAs go through really extensive training, and we make sure we learn from Child Advocates of Nevada County and vice versa on new and innovative prevention practices that are out there in the community.
That's great to hear. You might want to highlight that on the slide as well, because
Yeah,
they do great work. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for all the work that you do. It's really important. And I agree with Sue, the collaboration and how many partners you have is really amazing. So keep up the good work. At this point, I would like to open for public comment. Is there anybody that would like to comment on this item? Any callers?
No callers.
Okay. Well, then we will close public comment, and I'm going to read the resolution, and then hopefully we can get a photo op with you also. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone in the community. And whereas our children are our most valuable resource and will shape the future of Nevada County, and whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that can have lifelong consequences for the victims of abuse. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the meaningful connections and partnerships created between child welfare, education, health community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, and law enforcement agencies. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that benefit children and their families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that the Nevada County Board of Supervisors approves this resolution proclaiming April 2026 as Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month in Nevada County, and urge all of our citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. So thank you very much for all the work that you do. At this point, I will accept a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
District 1,
Yes.
District 5 absent, District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes. All right, can we do a quick?
Yeah. And we have pinwheels for our picture, too. Yes.
All right, just a couple more things on our agenda, but we are going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back at, say, 10:05. just a really slight little variation. We have one other presentation that we want to do real quick before we go into our scheduled 10 o'clock item. So Taylor, are you going to do the resolution proclaiming April 9th as local news day in Nevada County?
I am. Thank you. Good morning, Chair Swarthout and Honorable Board of Supervisor. My name is Taylor Wolf. I'm your Public Information Officer, and I'm excited to be here today to recognize and celebrate our local media partners on our first ever local news day, which is taking place Thursday, April 9th this year. This effort is part of a broader national movement to strengthen and sustain local journalism. As you can see on the slide up above, the mission of Local News Day is to reconnect people to trusted local outlets, empower newsrooms to grow, and spark a national movement that sustains local news for generations. Here in Nevada County, we are really fortunate to have a strong and engaged local media landscape. In 2025 alone, we had approximately 1,721 news stories covered on the county, with roughly 2/3 to 3/4 of these coming from our local media outlets. And this really just shows us how essential local journalism is to keeping residents informed and engaged in local government. So today we're joined by several of our local media outlets, and in a moment I'm going to invite them up to say a few short words. But today we have Ubinet, KNCO, the Union, Sierra Sun, and Nevada County Media all with us. I'd also like to acknowledge a few local outlets that were not able to join us today: Moonshine Inc., KVMR, and KTKE up in Truckee. And with that, I'd like to welcome down representatives from our local media partners to say a few words. We're going to keep it very short and sweet before we do a photo op.
Am I going first? All right. Hi, I'm Lainey Griffo. I am the editor of Sierra Sun. I just want to thank Nevada County. Local news is so important, and I'm not biased because I work for local news, but when the national news looks really scary and uncertain, it's really important to celebrate some of the local wins that are happening here in the county. I wish Hardy was here. We cover his district, and I would like to thank him for always being willing to pick up the phone and talk to us and answer all our questions. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elias Funes, the editor of The Union. Founded in 1864 to preserve the Union, one and inseparable, is the motto underneath the masthead of our 162-year-old print publication. When the Union was established, our young country was still in the throes of the Civil War. The freedom of this land was being tested, and our newspaper's founders understood the importance of a free press. That freedom isn't free. In order to keep it, a certain degree of engagement and connectivity amongst the community is required. As a steward of this newspaper for the past 10 years, I'm proud to know that the Union is still very much a vital part of connecting the community to all the news and events of the area. Having worked in communities with governments that aren't supportive of local media and seeing firsthand the effects of that, it is refreshing for the County of Nevada to proclaim April 9th as a local news day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm Stephanie Simpson from Nevada County Media. I just want to thank you all. I know that at some point, everyone around here has probably been in our facility for an interview. We appreciate, as a community, nonprofit based news outlet, your partnership. What we do here, we could not do without the community, without our government entities, without other nonprofits and organizations. So we just want to thank you. And we're always looking for new ways to be get the information out there. And so without, the support, we couldn't do what we do, and you guys couldn't do what you do. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Paul, welcome.
Good morning. I'm Paul Haas from KNCO and Star 94.
And I just want to thank you for taking the opportunity to recognize local media and the fact that Nevada County has so many opportunities and so many ways to share media, whether it be in print, television, radio, or on the internet, or all of those, depending upon which organization you're with. And being involved now with KNCO for forever, it doesn't matter. It's really nice to see that as staffs have changed and adjusted and mostly shrank, that rather than compete, we've taken on a collaborative approach where we work together to make sure that the news is shared in whichever way that we do that. And we want to just make sure that we thank you for recognizing us for that. And Tom Fitzsimmons specifically from KNCO, who has overcome a number of personal challenges as well and shows up every day. And the media that are here today do show up every day and tell their stories, and then tell your stories and tell the community stories. So thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
Chair Swarthout. My name is Pascal Fusseler, and I'm the editor of Ubinet, and my boss told me I had to speak. So on behalf of Ubinet and our dear colleagues, thank you. It's a little strange to be here because, well, not really used to that. We believe journalism should be a positive force in people's lives, and also in the community. That doesn't always mean polite, because, well, you know me. It means embracing the reality of where this community is, separate, together, it depends. But everything from the complexities, you know, the anxiety during fire season, the land use issues. Our job is to, A, keep an eye on you and report on your votes, or if you punt, I mean, everything. But it's worth noting that local businesses are integral to the fabric of a community. And local news outlets are small local businesses. So Chair Swarthout, since you proclaimed this to be the year of local small business, thank you. Because, you know, we hire people from the community. We buy our coffee in town, and we buy a lot of coffee. So we are part of the business and ecosystem of this community. Local News Day excuse me, is a great reminder that while democracy dies in darkness, it thrives on the granular and sometimes not so glamorous things that you do up there and city councils and town councils do. We'll continue to do our job, which includes speaking truth to power, and sometimes, when necessary, also truth to stupid. Here's looking at you, escape burn piles. And we will keep Nevada County informed, safe, and accountable. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
All right, just to wrap up here, thank you again to all of our media partners here today, and thanks for your work with the community. And
thank you. Thanks, Taylor, and thank you for coordinating all of us, making sure that we can communicate with all of our media outlets. It's much appreciated. So any comments or questions from the board on this one? Heidi?
No, I think this is the first time we've done this, right?
I think so.
So this is really great. I also want to thank our local news media. It's incredibly important that you keep the community informed about what we're doing, that you keep us informed about what we're not seeing in the community. Nice to see you, Susan, coming down here too. Thank you for keeping everyone accountable. Every day, again, this seems to be a theme for me today, but things are getting harder. It's getting harder and harder to get the real facts, to make sure we understand what is going on. Sometimes we depend entirely on local media to get the facts out and stay persistent when the news cycle just churns with something new every single day. I know you guys work sometimes early in the morning, late at night. Sometimes you're struggling to try to get us. Sometimes we're struggling to get back to you. But your work is just absolutely essential to democracy, to accountability, to keeping us all informed, to a cohesive community when we can be. So I also want to just send out a heartfelt thanks to every one of you for the good work you do.
Thanks. Sue, comments?
Yeah, no, I said that very well. But I think it is. It's like rain, sleet, snow, fire. You guys are there no matter what whatever issue it is, right? And so that is so appreciated. Again, I listen to all of these or use all of these at some point in the day just to check what's going on. And those are really, really, really appreciated. It's like, and it's not all about the doom and gloom, right? There's the art that goes on. There's the, like on the radio about town, we get to learn about the things that are going on around our community that are fun. There is good stuff too, so I'm not going to say you just all put doom and gloom into the paper. You bring us all good information and happy information and photography. You keep up what's going on with the folks and our activities that are going on in town. It's so important for us to stay involved. And that's something I know I could probably go to something every day. I don't make it to them all. But the ability to be aware of them is something else you do really well. So I thank you for all that. I don't know how you keep up. I always think of Tom telling me he had to snowshoe to work one day at KNCO. I thought of him about the last snowstorm, So the dedication that goes into what you all do is so important. So thank you for that, and keep up the great work, even though sometimes it's not nice.
Rob? Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. I know I start my day by getting woken up by KNCO 8:30, and then I read the Union online and I read the Ubinet online. I've done many things with the NC Media, so just really on a personal level, really appreciate all the work that goes into everything that you guys do. So with that, I will open up public comment. If there's anybody that has any comments.
Well, Chair Swarthout, just on behalf of the senior executives, I really want to thank our local media partners. You truly have the pulse of the community. You really help us do our job in terms of being responsive to the public. We talked about accountability, which is essential, but also it's important to message in terms of the importance of transparency. So I want to thank you for all your work. And I think the other thing that is missing is just the community building that you do, not only covering local government, but our community events, arts and culture, small businesses, all our youth sports programs from elementary to high schools. And it does not go unappreciated that we're a small rural community, but we still have print, we still have local radio, we have a robust online presence. And I think it's just an asset, a true gem that really is one of the things that makes Nevada County special. So thank you for all your hard work.
Okay. Yo, you're on.
Good morning, Chair, Supervisors. My name is Yolanda Cookson. I'm with Senator Megan Daly's office. And I just wanted to share a local, a personal, and a state perspective about local news. A couple of years ago, when this senator was the assembly person for El Dorado County, specifically South Lake, Alpine County, and those areas, do you know those people only get the state of Nevada news? Like, how crazy is that to live in California and get a different state's news? That means you don't have news about the fire that's burning 5 miles from your house. So the things that our local media offer us are so incredible. And I thank you so much. I thank you for the relationships that you have built in Nevada County, that people can call you on their cell phones and let you know what's going on. And you guys can fact check it and get it out to the community. So thank you for the safety aspect that you offer our community. And truly, Nevada County is so special because we have all those forms of media. So thank you for what you do. And I hope you will personally join me on April 9th to celebrate Local News Day and all the fun things that are happening.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment in the room? Okay, we will close the public comment.
Chair.
Oh, we have a caller?
We do have a
sorry.
caller.
Hi, this is Matthew Coulter. I run a media page called Concerned Citizen, and I hope that you all tune into it. I think several county folks just signed up for it yesterday, leadership positions. And you guys need to understand that the media is all of us. The First Amendment is for all of us. It's not just for the people that are authorized to be media. I just left the GVPD where they took 2 of my phones that I used to report on. So these constitutional violations and the squashing of our free press in Nevada County has been going on for years. I mean, what just popped in my head was the fucking murders, Sam Strange murders. How about that? You know? 2 girls that were killed out on Dead Man's Flat. And you ran all those people out of town because they were talking the truth. But hell, didn't align with the media that the county aligns with. So specifically for health and safety, I would like you guys to streamline the process of the fact that OES has to call UBNet. UBNet has to call KNCO, or I'm sorry, KVMR. KVMR then has to announce the fires. That's like a 40-minute lag time. I listened to evacuations and frantic firemen and police way before it was ever even announced. And that was in the South Yuba River Canyon. So frightening. Trapped people. They were asking for people with motorcycles to come evacuate people. It never even made it on the news. This is all right off the scanner. So I would hope that media could take a new look at what is important to the community. And all the fluff is not, you know, it's doom and gloom is the bad term, Sue, because reality, facts, is what media is about. And we fully understand that some media sources are skewed, and that's unfortunate because, you know, they are advertising based. I am free. My media source is free. I don't want your money. But the other media sources are all dependent on advertising. So therefore, they can only give you stuff that does not offend people, basically. So in reality, it's not even really the news. It's entertainment and advertising, which is really sad because we're missing, and you guys are missing, a lot of what's going on in Grass Valley, Nevada City, Nevada County, Truckee, the Ridge, Penn Valley, all these places. We live in a very dynamic and active community. And I hope that more people can get involved with media. Thank you.
Can I comment?
Yes, absolutely.
Hi, my name is Marion Blair. Nice to see all of you. Yeah, I was just thinking about KVMR. They are just a really critical local source of information, and I so appreciate them. And I'm surprised there's nobody here from that outlet. But, you know, anywhere from there's been an accident on Highway 20, you might want to avoid such and such an off-ramp, to there's a cow wandering down the middle of Bloomfield Road, right? I just really always appreciate that they're on the ball, and they are a not-for-profit organization, so what the gentleman was just saying isn't always true, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I will close the public comment and read the resolution. Whereas communities depend on strong local news and information to keep residents informed, connected, and prepared, whereas local news organizations provide verified, independent reporting that helps residents make everyday decisions about schools, public safety, healthcare, small businesses, elections, and community events. And whereas access to trusted local news and information strengthens civic participation, supports transparency and accountability in government, and fosters a culture of informed citizenship, and whereas local journalists serve as essential members of our community, attending public meetings, covering emergencies, highlighting community achievements, and telling the stories that reflect who we are. And whereas Local News Day is a national day of action connecting people with local, independent, and trusted news sources in their own communities and encouraging residents to learn about engage with, and support the newsrooms that serve them. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of Nevada County does hereby proclaim April 9th, 2026 as Local News Day in Nevada County, encourages all residents to recognize the importance of trusted local news and information, and to engage with the local news organizations that serve our community. So thank you all so much for all the work that you do and keeping us informed and keeping us honest and on the straight and narrow up here. With that, I would entertain a motion for approval of the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
District 1.
Yes.
District 5 absent. District 2.
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
District 3.
Yes. All right. And I know that Pascal especially is going to hate this, but you have to come and get your picture taken with all of us.
We invite all the media partners to come up to the board for a picture. Sheila and Susan, good.
I think this is okay.
All right, on to our next item. Item number 19, thank you to the Sheriff's Office for letting us go a little out of order there. We appreciate your patience with us today. Yeah, she's here. So we are going to hear about the Truth Act, and I'm going to turn it over to Captain Jacobs and Lieutenant Now for a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good morning, Honorable Board, Chair Swarthout. I am Captain Bob Jacobs with the local Sheriff's Office here. I'm currently assigned as our jail commander. I am joined today with Operations Lieutenant Jay Now, who is going to provide the presentation for you today on the Truth Act.
Good morning, Chair Swarthout and Supervisors. Thank you for giving us time to present this topic. And thank you, Captain Jacobs, for the introduction. We are here to give our annual presentation on the Truth Act, which is the transparent review of unjust transfers and holds. Our presentation will include requirements of the Act, government codes that make up the Truth Act, jail policy and procedures, as well as the statistics for 2025. As mentioned in our mission statement, we are committed to providing excellence and public service in partnership with our community. When it comes to the Sheriff's Office and jail cooperating with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, we follow California government codes and our agency policies. Just a little background on the Truth Act. It was approved by California Governor Brown on September 26, 2016. It requires the Nevada County Sheriff's Office to provide an incarcerated person with written consent form prior to an ICE interview. Provides criteria to Nevada County Sheriff's Office for cooperating with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Nevada County Sheriff's Office has established policies and procedures. Corrections has policy 502 that talks about our involvement. It also addresses requirements of government codes 7283 through 7283.2, as well as 7282.5. So going into those government code 7282.5 identifies charges and conditions that must be met for incarcerated persons to be held for ICE. Some of those items, they must be convicted of serious or violent crimes. Low-level, nonviolent misdemeanors charges are not included. Penal Code 1192.7 and 667.5 gives us a list of what charges would qualify in allowing us to cooperate with ICE. They can also be convicted of a crime that they are being sent to prison for. The ICE, if we receive an ICE hold, that would be sent with them down to the California State Prison, and they would handle the handoff to ICE if appropriate. If they are on the California Sex and Arson Registry, we can honor the hold from ICE. And finally, if the jail is provided with a federal arrest warrant signed by a federal judge with charges related to immigration. Government Code 7283 defines which incarcerated person data should be presented at our yearly community forum. 7283.1 outlines the processes, which is the forms, information availability in the community forum. And finally, 7283.2 specifies that the chapter does not change the authority to detain based upon an ICE hold. So Nevada County Sheriff's Office Policy 502 talks about how we can cooperate with ICE. If we receive an ICE hold, we will notify the incarcerated person that we got the request. This notice includes whether or not we intend to comply with the request. On the form, there's a spot we mark whether or not we're going to comply. The incarcerated person can designate one additional person who will also receive a copy of that ICE request, as well as if we are going to notify ICE. A lot of times that could be an attorney or a close family member. All ICE requests are strictly voluntarily, and all forms are available in several different languages. We have 3 forms that are part of the Truth Act, and those forms we carry in 2 languages, and we can get them in several other languages, as well as we can also contact the language line if we do not have the form in that language. So the way the process is, an incarcerated person is booked either into the Wayne Brown Correctional Facility or the Truckee Jail. We will be doing fingerprints on everybody that comes into custody. Those fingerprints are automatically sent through DOJ as part of that process that also goes through ICE. ICE may send a detainer request to the Nevada County Sheriff's Office. It may be sent to us through the CLET system, or it may be faxed to us. If ICE requests to interview an incarcerated person, consent forms are given to the incarcerated person. As I mentioned earlier, this interview is voluntary. If the incarcerated person consents, they are interviewed by ICE. Nevada County Sheriff's Office will notify ICE of release only if incarcerated person meets the specific criteria under the Truth Act. Those are those charges and areas I mentioned earlier in the Penal Code. Also, we will not hold an incarcerated person past their release date. If ICE is not present on their release date and they've met the qualifications, we will release the incarcerated person. We will not hold them past their release date. So ICE access for 2025. Under Government Code 7283, ICE access means for the purpose of civil immigration enforcement, including when an individual is stopped with or without their consent, arrested, detained, or otherwise under the control of the local law enforcement agency. There are 5 areas listed under ICE access, and these are involvement during 2025. So first off, for responding to an ICE hold, notification, or transfer request, both jails did not respond to any of those. Providing notification to ICE in advance of the public that an individual is being or will be released at a certain date and time through data sharing or otherwise, we did not respond to any of those. Providing ICE non-publicly available information regarding release dates, home addresses, or work addresses, whether computer databases, jail logs, or otherwise. Both jails do not provide this information to ICE through the databases. Allowing ICE to interview an individual, ICE did not conduct any interviews this year. Providing ICE information regarding dates and times of probation or parole check-ins, ICE was not provided with any of this information. Continuing on with our statistics, during 2025, we had 2,916 bookings, and that's both jails combined. Of those bookings, incarcerated persons with some level of ICE involvement, there were 18 total bookings. 17 of those were by local agencies on local charges, and then 1 booking was by a local agency on another county's warrants. This equates to 0.006% of all of our 2025 bookings where an ICE detainer request was received. Of those 18, all 18 were released. 17 were released to the public. 1 was picked up by another county, which was Tuolumne County. Continuing on, the 18 bookings that were in custody with an ICE detainer request during 2025 were in custody for a total of 89 days combined. 5 days was the average length of stay for incarcerated persons with an ICE request. This year we provided a 5-year stat of what are the number of IPs, combined total days, and average length of stay. As you can see, in 2021 was towards the end of the COVID time, so there was not many. We only had 1 person was only in custody for 8 days. 2022, 2023, the numbers went up. And then 2024, it dropped a little bit. And then, of course, this year, as we mentioned, 18 total bookings with a combined total of 89 days, with 5 days as an average. We're also required to provide the demographics for those 18 bookings. Age range, 18 to 24, 3 people. 25 to 30, 4. 31 through 40, 7. 41 through 50, 3. And 1 person was over the age of 50. Our youngest person was 23 years old. The oldest was 53. We had 17 males and 1 female. Citizenship, this is self-reported, so we may have documentation saying what country their citizenship is, but sometimes they don't always give us an honest answer. This year, all 18 reported as foreign citizenship. Country of birth is, again, self-reported. We had 10 from Mexico, 2 from the United Kingdom, 2 from Honduras, 1 from Argentina, 1 from Colombia, 1 from El Salvador, and 1 from India. Of those 18, 9 were felony level charges. The other 9 were misdemeanor level charges. That concludes our presentation. And again, thank you for allowing us to present this to you today. If you have any questions.
All right, thank you for the presentation. Questions from board? Rob, any questions?
Yeah, thanks for that. Just a quick question on, I think it's page 7, the ICE access for 2025. Yeah, right there. When it's showing that you responded to 0, how does that line up with the requests that you receive? Is it like for item 1, is that saying you received no requests, or that you received requests and you didn't respond to them?
Correct. We received the requests from ICE, but we did not respond to them.
Okay,
So we did
and
not
that would be
provide
the
them
same for 2, I guess those are the ones that have the numbers.
Correct, yeah, we did not respond to them. So we fill out the form, but did not provide a response to them.
Okay.
Sue, any questions? No? All right. Heidi, question?
No, I think there's some folks who want public comment. This is the 9th time I've seen your report. I appreciate so much that you report out every year. I think I've always had questions. There's rarely been public comment, so I'm interested to hear what they have to say. I just want to say that I think I'm so proud that I'm in California and we have this act. It could not be more important right now that we abide by the Truth Act, and I appreciate the transparency that you're providing here. But I'm interested in hearing what the public comment will have, questions they'll have there. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and I don't have any questions either, but before I open up public comment, I just want to let everybody know that the action that we will be taking today is to accept this report. This is an annual report. Like Heidi said, she's heard it 9 times. This is my 4th time of hearing it. It's something that we do every year. It's required by law. I believe it's part of the Truth Act. It's required by law to report out to your public entity. So I appreciate you doing that and keeping the statistics. So with that, I will open it up for public comment. But please note the action that we're going to take today is just to accept the report. So come on down.
Hi, name's Zach, here again. I was here last year for this report, and I'm very pleased to see that we have 0 requests for ICE holds honored this year. That's a great improvement over last year. I assume that the 9 felony charges out of the 18 detainees would have qualified for complying under California state law. So the decision not to comply was the right choice. If you're paying attention, the detention system for immigration enforcement is criminal. And we cannot, in good conscience, hand anybody, no matter what crime in criminal law they have been accused or convicted of, into that system. It would be inhuman and it would be unconstitutional. Their rights are being violated in those detention centers. So I am pleased that no one from this county in 2025 ended up in that system that is really quite dangerous. So I would say that many of us in the community are still very much hoping that this board will take action. As you can see from the Sheriff's Department's actions, they can cooperate with ICE out of our jail. They do not have to under state law. We can, in this county, make policies that prohibit it from happening ever, and should. And I mean, it would be in the best interest of our county to take that moral stand and that legal stand that we will not, under any circumstances, be honoring ICE holds out of our county jail. On top of that, we've discussed many other aspects of DHS cooperation with all of the board members that have been willing to speak with us. A lot of our money in the county is still deeply tied to a really unjust and criminal immigration system. We have to get rid of our flock cameras immediately. They are violating our local residents' civil rights, privacy rights. We have to seriously address issues with the Axon contract, law enforcement's body-worn cameras. There's questions about whether DHS has access to that information. Our evidence.com evidence sharing process, I know another $2.4 million went to law enforcement at the consent.
Thank you.
I like to practice with the scary microphone. My name's Itera. I live in District 1. Hey, Sue. Long time no see. So I'd just like to say we appreciate the sheriff's noncompliance. Yay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Kathy Dotson. I live in Nevada City, District 1. Thank you to the Sheriff's Office for the transparency and yes, not being compliant with ICE. I am up here because I just want to keep pushing on the work that Zach is doing and many people in this community. We want you, as the Board of Supervisors, to publicly take a stand and be in support of immigrant families and take a stand against the cruelty of ICE. Today, this morning, we know it's not business as usual. This morning, the president called for an extermination of people. The vice president spoke, about this microphone, the vice president spoke in support of Viktor Orban in Hungary, who has called for a white nationalist country. That is what Trump wants here too. He has called, yes, he has called immigrants vermin and that they are poisoning our country. This, again, is not business as usual. So when we, as a community, as a county, you as leaders, if you're not speaking out against that kind of language, which is already out there, it's out there, and it is going to affect the entire world for a long time to come. And here we have the opportunity as leaders, I am a leader in this community, to stand up for humanity, decency, and the support of every person in this community, regardless of race, their background, economic status, their sexuality, their identity. And you as leaders have that opportunity. I'm asking for that. And you need to stand up against what the president and the vice president is currently standing for. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was very pleased to see those zero numbers up there, and I'm glad because many of us that have been working on this feel like, is this happening here, or is it just what we're hearing about other parts of the country? And our concern of how do we really know for sure? And I'm going to just make a presumption here that noncompliance has to do with the consent form being sent to the incarcerated person and them saying, no, I don't consent. If the person does consent, I'm wondering if at that point then the sheriff's department would then go ahead and cooperate. So I'm proud of maybe the people who didn't consent, their courage to say no. The other thing, you've all heard of the expression of, and I'm guilty of this too, when you sweep your kitchen, you sweep something under the rug. And I want to challenge some of the assumptions behind the notion of if we have a violent criminal offender and they happen to not be, and they're convicted even, and they happen to not be a U.S. citizen or legally in this country, documented in this country, the notion that we're somehow protecting our society by sending them away or putting them in the detention center for a period of time or sending them away, that doesn't I mean, this world is pretty connected. So you're not really addressing violent criminality by just exporting somebody somewhere else. So I just think some of the premise behind our immigration enforcement is wrong-headed in terms of even practical protecting our community. So anyway, I am pleased to be somewhat comforted. I'm assuming these information is all about 2025, and so there may be some things going on this year that are different than those zero numbers. I hope not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again. My name is Marion Blair, and I am in District 3. Yeah, I had the same question about the zero numbers. Was that zero that, had had you zero that you had actually had a request for, or the zero that complied? And so thank you for asking that. So this has been a long reading through all of this and trying to make sense of it. And I also was comforted by the fact that you didn't comply with some of these. However, the 9 misdemeanors I was wondering about. Because when I read through the Values Act, it says the purpose of it, and I think we're all agreed on that, is to ensure effective policing and protect the safety and well-being and the constitutional rights of the people of California. And this is based on the legislature's findings that immigrants are valuable and essential members of California communities, and that a relationship of trust between California immigrant communities and the state and local agencies is central to public safety and the people of California. And as you well know, the federal administration has demonized immigrants and criminalized them regardless of their immigration status and even their U.S. citizenship. So I think what I'm wondering about is just, again, like a couple of people were saying, and I was here when we brought the 1,000 petitions that we had signed, that the board take a stance on a proactive stance on the values of our community to protect immigrants. Very few of them are hardcore criminals, and probably less than even some of the white nationalists. I'm going to just say it, right? So, yeah, thank you for considering that, and we're going to keep working on it. I'm part of a network called the Immigration Rights Network. I do believe this is really important, and that we shouldn't sweep it under the rug, and that we should be vocal about it and take that stance. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wants to speak?
Good morning. My name is Andrew Burkhoff. I live in District 3. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and thank you for the...
Can you pull the microphone a little closer?
I can speak forward, sorry. This is awkward for me, sorry. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I actually don't have a statement. I have 3 very specific questions. Does the Nevada County Sheriff's Office have a policy for assisting with ICE in search warrants at workplaces, homes, and other areas that we're seeing in other counties, including Los Angeles? And will the Nevada County Sheriff's Office consider warrants that are not signed by judges that ICE are using in other areas? It's good and great that they're being taken care of afterwards or looked at under the Act once they're incarcerated. My concerns are what's happening in other areas of California, most specifically Los Angeles and around the nation. So do we have something in policy in comparison in Nevada County Sheriff's Office with something like Los Angeles? And I don't really have a statement. I'm just kind of curious as to what's going to happen when, if, or they decide to move into Nevada County and start looking at our immigrants and our policy here. I'm actually an immigrant and actually looking over my shoulder as to what the policy is going to change when I pull my immigration status, my naturalization status, which I've only had for less than 10 years. So I'm just kind of wondering how this all looks and how this is going to look in the long run, because it doesn't appear to be stopping anytime soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any callers, Loriana?
There is one caller, Chair.
Let's take the caller.
Hi, Matthew Poulter calling from the Veterans Memorial Hall in Grass Valley, California. Myself, I've traveled to over 32 countries, actually 33, and not any of those countries could I overstay my visa in. There were severe restrictions. And so I find it odd that we are Sanctuary County, and I find it odd that we can't even take care of our own homeless. Right now in front of the Veterans Memorial Hall, there's piles of clothing that somebody laid out for a bed with a candle and other crap on the ground, okay? So I would love to have a borderless, free world of love and compassion. But what I see is complete abuse of a culture, because I don't think anyone really even looks at this stuff. But the fact of the matter is, during NAFTA, we invited everyone to move up near the border and work in our factories. Then the Chinese said, hey, we'll do it for $5 cheaper. So we shifted everything to China, right? So the continued abuse, and let me just mention what I experienced while I was in Nevada County Jail for over 5 months, that nobody speaks Spanish. The people that are in there that do and don't speak English have no way to communicate with the staff, the medical staff, or anyone else. What they do is use other prisoners to be translators. Now, those other prisoners hate. A lot of them hate each other because some are legal and some are illegal, and they don't like each other. And it causes a lot of conflict in the jail. So I find it odd that there's 18 incarcerations from other countries, yet nobody was removed. So, and these are freaking felons. What kind of felonies are these 8 people have? Are they child molesters? Have they murdered people? And we're just blowing it off because they're from somewhere else? This is freaking crazy. Right now, over at the Navigation Center, we need police. We need help. There's people laying all over the ground in all different states of decomposition. And we want to bring more people in. It is absolutely insane that our county is profiteering off the backs of people from foreign countries and just ignoring the fact that it is illegal to do that. But you guys seem to think the profit is more important than human life. Well, more power to you, buddy, because all these people complaining about war and Trump and white supremacy, I mean, it's here nor there. We're in Nevada County, California. Let's deal with Nevada County, California.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the chambers that wishes to speak on this? Okay, I'm going to close the public comment and bring it back to the board for discussion. Yeah, I will. Okay, just if you will be the final person, it's.
I'm old. Yeah. How do I make this thing work?
Just pull it down a little bit closer to you. There you go.
So my name is Wendy Mascaro. I'm in District 1. And thank you, the Sheriff's Office, for your presentation. I had no idea that this kind of presentation was a yearly thing. I'm learning a lot. And I found out about the dealings with ICE from reading an article in the Union. And I was filled with so much anxiety about the whole idea of ICE and what they're doing, that I had to come here today. I'm a novice. I've never been in these chambers here before. But for the people who have spoken out about their concerns about cooperating with ICE, I wish you guys would stick around, because I need to know who my allies are. And I feel desperate that something be done about this situation with ICE. Anyway, that's why I'm here. And hopefully I will find out who my allies are from being here today. And that's it. Bless you all. I'm so grateful that, gosh, this is democracy in action. I'm just so happy to see all of you and to be able to participate like this. Many, many thanks to all of you on the board. Really appreciate it.
Well, and thank you for coming here today. Welcome. Welcome for your first visit to the government building. So, all right, public comment is now closed. And then maybe Captain Jacobs, could you just address the question that the gentleman asked? And if this is the appropriate place, if not, we also can connect you together one-on-one.
Yeah, I believe you had 3 separate questions. I'd prefer to just stay on topic. This is about the Truth Act. I know he had questions that involved ideas that were outside of the scope of this. So I think we prefer to just stick to this. I think the main thing to focus on is that the Sheriff's Department is complying with state law. I think our presentation shows that in the numbers. I know that there were charges listed, 9 felonies and 9 misdemeanors, and a lot can be inferred when it comes to those felony arrests. Just understand that the Truth Act does list specific crimes we're allowed to cooperate. Outside of that, we're not. And so in order to get into the details of that, I think it would take much more time than we have today. So I'm not really at liberty to speak to specifics about those individuals. The important thing to understand is that the Sheriff's Department is following the law.
All right, thank you. Yep. All right, so final comments or questions? Heidi?
Thank you. Yeah, I want to thank the Sheriff's Office again for their transparency and their willingness to answer questions, whether here or later. And maybe to that point, if folks want to talk to you more directly about policies, should they contact you, Captain Jacobs?
Yeah, if it refers directly to the Truth Act, I'm the jail commander. I can definitely speak to that. If it's other questions, they can call the Sheriff's Office main line. They can email the Sheriff's generic email, and we'll get them connected with the appropriate person. And
I think anything regarding ICE and ICE policies.
correct. As the other gentleman said, there could be a multitude of things. When it comes to the Truth Act and incarceration, I'm
Right.
probably the best person to speak to, myself and Lieutenant Now. If it has to do with field operations, we would refer to the appropriate person in the office.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure there's a contact, because I think this is a conversation that isn't over in this community. I want to thank people for showing up and sharing their concerns. I am personally appalled at the lack of due process that ICE is using across this country. I know that we are lucky in this county that we haven't had to experience what so many cities are experiencing. But I also know that the fear here is real. I am personally witness to some of the calls that come in of people in the community who are fearful that ICE is showing up and then being assured that they're not here. So that fear is something we need to acknowledge and deal with. I am interested in potentially doing more from the board, doing something that we can to help protect our immigrant families from ICE, from the fear. So I would encourage my colleagues to meet with folks who want to talk about doing more. I've done that at those meetings. I'm willing to continue those, but I can't act alone. And I would encourage the Sheriff's Office to also engage with the community in terms of what their concerns are. Let's keep that dialogue going. Again, I think we're lucky so far, but the fact that the fear is real is something we need to acknowledge and deal with. So thank you both to the community for showing up and to the Sheriff's Office for your report.
Okay, if there's no other comments, I would call for a motion and a second to accept the presentation today.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call?
District 1.
Yes.
District 5 absent. District 2.
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
District 3.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here, and I know we'll see you before, but we'll see you next year at the same time. All right. All right. Our final item today is Community Development Agency Director Tricia Tillotson. We have a resolution proclaiming April 22nd as Earth Day in Nevada County. Welcome.
Thank you, Chair and Board. So again, I'm Tricia Tillotson, the Community Development Agency Director. Shavati was going to join us, but she is busy getting ready for the Recreation Fair, working with a lot of our partners in the community. So today I'm just going to quickly talk about Earth Day, which is going to be April 22nd this year. A little bit of history. The first Earth Day was held in 1970, where 20 million Americans came together to support stewardship and protection of the environment. Today, over 1 billion people across 200 plus countries participate in Earth Day. There are many ways to participate in Nevada County, including riding your bike, picking up litter, using reusable kitchenware, and putting organic waste in organic waste bins. And that's just to name a few. The board's climate resilience objective is helping to further things we are already doing, which helps support and strengthen our local economy. It makes our communities healthier and safer, and this is the board's objective. Nevada City will be celebrating with their 5th annual Earth Fest on April 19th from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. As always, lots of communing and fun are planned with live music performances and kids' activities. Nevada County will be there as well, so stop on by one of our booths. We'll have information about recreation, climate, and solid waste. With that, as the board did last year, we're proposing a resolution proclaiming April 22nd as Earth Day in Nevada County. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad to see that Nevada City is going to be doing their celebration again. That was a good one last year. All right, any questions for staff? Any public comment? Lily Marie, you're our last public standing. Thanks for staying. All right. Any callers, Loriana?
No callers, Chair.
Okay. I will close public comment and bring it back to the board for a motion to adopt the resolution. Oh, and I see Mandy's there. Hello. Did you want to add anything, Mandy?
No, thank you. That's a great presentation, Tricia. I'm just here for support.
Okay. Thanks.
I'll just make one comment if I
Sure.
could. I'm a little disappointed that we don't have more staff and more community showing up. This is incredible. Earth Day is incredible. We have done a really good job downtown with vendors and nonprofits and incredible creativity. It's actually a really great event here in this county and something we should be supporting with all of our heart. So I'm a little disappointed that we're at the end and there's nobody here. So maybe next year we can make a bigger deal. Thank you for being here, Tricia.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion to adopt the resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Roll call?
District 1.
Yes.
District 5 absent. District 2.
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
District 3.
Yes. Motion carries. All right. Thanks, Tricia. All right. Our final, our final today is announcements. I think it's been a while since we've done them, so anybody ready to go? Sue, you got your list, Rob? Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been so long, I can't remember a lot of stuff, but I did want to highlight a couple of things since Hardy's not here to share. The recreation ad hoc, we've been meeting, and a couple dates I wanted to highlight is the May 6th, the Pines to Minds. It's kind of the launch, so to speak. So that'll be coming up kind of going into the full fundraising mode for that. And then I think we already mentioned it, and Shivati's working on it, but the recreation fair is on April 25th. So we'll continue planning for that. And then some of the other things we were working on that was the River Shuttle pilot program. We had a good park district collaboration meeting. What was that last week with a number of the local park districts. And then the South Yuba River Public Safety Cohort is moving forward. And then we'll be hearing more about the low-intensity camping issue going forward. So those are some of the things we've been working on the recreation ad hoc. And then, I can't remember if I said it already, but the airport ad hoc, we had a great kind of stakeholder meeting, I think 2 weeks ago, where particularly a lot of the businesses in the aviation community up there just kind of had a listening session as we move forward with the board going forward on the kind of master plan and considering the future of the airport. So, yeah, we'll bring that back to the ad hoc and continue moving forward. But I thought it was a good hour and a half listening session up there for all the stakeholders. That's about it.
Thanks. Sue?
We'll start with, gosh, there's been a lot of different little committees going on right now. I know. So, but I do want to go over, we just talked about Earth Day, which is really kind of exciting. Like you're talking about, there's a lot of planning. It's going to be a great celebration. So on my climate resiliency ad hoc, that was a conversation, Earth Day, doing the resolution. We had our community meeting for a resilience project, our community meeting at the Love Building. I had a great turnout, lots of great conversation. We had a good presentation from NID, just about like looking at what projects are some ideas at how are we going to collaborate and work together to be able to bring in grant funding, because that will have a lot to do with how we accomplish some of the things that we want to do in our community. Another thing we've been working on is getting our 2026 Sustainability Summit organized and kind of making the plans how it starts to go, getting our invite list, and going to put out a hold the date for that. Our governing boards met a couple of times, kind of still looking at what is our why, what our goals are, where we want to go, and how we keep everyone engaged and involved. Let's see what else. And then, of course, that was our second workshop, and then we'll look forward to carrying that on maybe quarterly, or I think that's what we looked at quarterly, I think, because it really makes a difference when people get together and collaborate. It was really fun to see different groups that thought of coming together, how they could make things more efficient, especially when grant writing comes into the prospects and how they're going to be bigger and better together. So, if anything, it's been fun just to have a community together of all different folks and have them sit at tables and have conversations. I think that meeting goes by so fast, you start and it's over. So I want to appreciate everybody that came to that. So that was a big one. Let's see. So fire consolidation, we've met, we have a meeting coming up. I'm happy to say that Penn Valley and Rough and Ready have consolidated. And now, of course, we're going to continue to meet, make sure they're meeting the measures in their MOU. So they'll have a meeting. We're supposed to meet with Consolidated again coming up. Let's see. I'm on my office reorganization, and so we had a little brief meeting on that. We'll have more to come on later. Yuba Safety Cohort is moving along, same kind of things, issues that we have to manage with over the year. River safety is coming, and that's going to be a loud message as we come. The water's cold and running swift, and unfortunately, even in the Truckee River, we had a death already. It's cold, people, so we want you to be careful out there. So going to continue to work on that and get that messaging. And that group is broke down into different things, looking at parking. We're looking at what's it going to be like, again, for a recreation year on our river. So there's a possibility of well, I keep saying possibility, but it is a possibility to have some sort of transportation back and forth for the 49 bridge, because it's so impacted with traffic. And if we could get people to try and learn to use that, it would really be helpful. We're going to try and work really hard to get people ticketed that are parking over the white line. It's dangerous. It is a dangerous part of the highway to come and see our beautiful river. So anyway, little things like that our life jackets will be going out, but later, like right now, you shouldn't be in the water. So there'll be a lot of that to come. I am on the capital projects master plan, and that's going forward. We just had a meeting, talked about interesting. We just broke ground over here on our new behavioral health facility that's going to be outstanding. I'm on the budget subcommittee. We're meeting regularly. And then cannabis, I do have a bit of a, I could give you a better, let me hold on one second. I'll get that for you because Matt is doing a great job. We're working on our ad hoc for our new, okay, so this is what's happening with our ad hoc and our dispensary application. So the cannabis, they've met, that's begun. They're looking at the applicant process. They've had meetings in January and March, and staff presented the draft to the commercial cannabis dispensary application. They did an evaluation and a review. So that's coming up. They're meeting. I mean, it's a moving along process. Their next meeting is going to be on the 16th, and they'll finish looking at those materials, and then following that approval and doing the scoring criteria that we could be moving it forward like by June or July. And the next meeting is coming up. It'll be in April again, and we'll have a better idea of where that's moving forward. So all my ad hocs are been pretty busy actually right now, so that's good. And again, the climate resiliency, the resiliency project was really actually so well attended, and I got to give that group, Mandy's doing a fabulous job, and the staff that went in, they knocked it out of the park again as far as I'm concerned. They bringing people together of different ideas and how climate can come together and work in our county and how we make it better. It really is pretty exciting. So anyway, that's all I have for today.
Yeah, I'll start going back. Let me just shout out to Supervisor Hook for sticking around with the South Yuba River cohort. I have not been able to attend a meeting in a while, but I follow what they're doing, so I appreciate that you stayed involved, and I know we're doing everything we can. Going back, let's see, I've did attend the Power of the Purse, which I think a number of us here were here too. So that's always a great program. Gets better every year. Important issue in the community. Also, I think many of us attended the Community Roots tour to look at how folks are bringing together people to make sure that we're providing fresh local food to all the schools, at least in Western Nevada County. So that was a really interesting tour, and wishing them lots of luck and anything we can do to help with that. A lot of constituent meetings on code cases, evacuation routes, PG&E issues, and AT&T issues. So the same stuff that we are dealing with constantly. And then NACO's been active. I'm staying involved. There is a fly-in at the end of this month on the FEMA work group I'm on to deal with FEMA's reforming or we're going to get funds out. I'm not going to be attending it because nothing has changed. They still have not come out with a recommendation. The bill has not moved. So I don't feel like the advocacy efforts right now are that useful. So I'm not going to attend that, but I'm staying involved with that, making sure we do everything we can. More recently, we have had a housing ad hoc meeting, continuing to try to find ways to provide more working families and low-income housing here. I think most of us attended the Deer Creek new center groundbreaking, which was excellently well attended, even in the rain. Very excited about that project. And then yesterday, I had the opportunity to sit in with some of my county colleagues in the state on a Senate Banking Committee staff call that Paragon set up for us to follow up. When we were out in D.C. with NACO recently, we weren't able to meet with them, and so this is a follow-up on the fire insurance issue that I have not given up on, trying to get them to understand where we are still with the rising rates and the lack of action and the lack of new insurance companies to come in and write policies. It does sound like that committee may be coming up with a bill, so we were making sure they heard our concerns, what we would want to see in it. On the federal level, I'm asking for a federal backstop like they have for the flood plan, so that there is some relief for homeowners, ultimately. And so they are going to get back to us, and we'll probably have some opportunity to provide some input in any bill that they are drafting. That's it for me for now.
Could you put it on there?
Yeah.
You were there too.
Yeah. All right. Everybody's been super busy. I'll make mine quick because I attended many of the same things that my colleagues did: Power of the Purse, the Community Roots Tour, the Deer Creek Mental Health groundbreaking last week. Looking forward to the actual opening of that in 2027. I also had a meeting with Waste Management to get caught up on what their plans are for the year. I met with Aaron Tarr from the Berryville Land Trust. They're getting ready to submit their application to the county for the Wildflower Ridge project, which is really exciting. They're doing a nature preserve out on a piece of property off of Old Highway 20. I was invited last month to Assemblywoman Hadwick. She does monthly calls with her jurisdictions. So I did my first one last week with people from all the rest of her counties. It was very interesting to listen to the issues that other counties face. They're so similar to the issues that we face here in the community. And it's a really good networking opportunity, I think, to come up with some common ground in her assembly district. So I was grateful for the opportunity to participate in that. I'll be doing that monthly. I attended the Economic Resource Council Board meeting last week, and I'd like to give a plug for the tour of Nevada County, which is coming up on April 30th. It's a fantastic day. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. We get to tour some manufacturing businesses in the community. There's a lunch provided. People are interested in going, they can go to the economicresourcecouncil.org's website, and you can register online. I've also started doing some of my stakeholder meetings with some of the organizations, economic development organizations, last week. So I had a couple meetings. My hope is to meet with, I think there's 6 different groups, and at the end, bring them all together to figure out some common ground for some of our nonprofits and some of the work that they're doing. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Allison.
Thank you, Chair. Attended many of the events that were already mentioned. We do have Daniel Mason, who's the author of North Woods, and that's the book that our library has selected this year. And he's going to be speaking on April 11th from 6 to 8:30 at Sierra College. So we invite the public to attend and hope they're enjoying the book and all the wonderful events that the library is coordinating. Attended a regional dispatch meeting yesterday that was coordinated by our sheriff, which included the cities and the city managers, along with elected officials, including Chair Swarthout. Also met with Berryville Land Trust regarding their Wildflower Ridge Community Nature Hub project. It is submitted an application to the county, and the CEO's office will be coordinating a tour for the board members and senior executive staff. So look out for that email, and we hope that you could attend. We attended ethics training, which is AB 1234, which I know all of you have taken or will be taking, and all of our senior executive staff were involved in that training. And then last night, I also attended a fair employment and housing talk that was sponsored by Nevada County Pride at Nevada County Media, where they brought in an outside speaker to talk about all the federal and state rules and regulations for equal employment, as well as housing. So that was interesting. We had a presentation at ILA with highlighting student programs, the RAISE program, as well as independent living program, youth advocates to help kids. It's actually kids helping kids, students leading students in terms of some of the issues in the high school. And then also I was really impressed with the student advocates of helping students in foster care transition from foster care into adulthood. We met with PG&E, Supervisor Hook and Supervisor Swarthout yesterday, where they gave an update on their projects, their new technology that they're introducing to keep our community safer, and that's a LiDAR technology. They also gave an update on their undergrounding and their vegetation removal. If you have constituent complaints or concerns, anything from safety to vegetation removal to PG&E contractors leaving trees or logs, please elevate them to your analysts, because we really do have a good channel with PG&E to address those constituent concerns. We're happy to help you with that. And then lastly, as you know, we introduced the coffee chats with our Chief Fiscal Officer, Aaron Mettler, and did our first one last week with Supervisor Hook in attendance, and it's really fun to have community conversations around our budget. And so I just want to bring up some dates that we're going to be having other opportunities for the public to come and meet with a supervisor and our CFO. The next one will be in Truckee on Thursday, April 15th from 10 to 12 at the Truckee Airport, or actually the town of Truckee. And then the last one will be in Grass Valley, and that will be on June 4th from 11 to 1 p.m. at the Grass Valley Library. So we encourage the public to attend, learn about our budget before the public hearings, and it's ratified by the board. Thank you.
Thank you. And it was a squirrel that caused the power outage on Easter Sunday. Just so you know, we got the scoop yesterday. It was actually on the Sacramento News this morning too. So it was big. Yeah, go ahead, Sue.
I know one more thing. I think it is important too that our constituents know that we do have a relationship with PG&E, not just with our OES team, but us. So if they do have problems or issues, they really should call in. And I'm still continuing. I know Heidi is. We work on AT&T. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. I mean, we've had some issues. I encourage people still to send your complaints into the CPUC as well. That helps document it. But if you are having trouble with your phones and those are still issues going on, I probably did 7 of them last week. I want you to feel free to reach out to me, because we're going to keep challenging them, as they are that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do, and they're not being transparent at all. They give poor information, and I'm going to keep on AT&T for now, because we just still need landlines in our community. So keep up the good work.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a really important thing that we see here in our community and our group here at the county, is the relationships that we build with different agencies that help us get things done. And so just wanted to throw that out there.
And another important point, CAL FIRE was also in attendance in the meeting with PG&E, which is pretty essential when we're looking at the shaded fuel breaks and the projects, and then just preparedness going into fire season. So the coordinated effort with PG&E, CAL FIRE, OES, we're really proud of that effort, and we think it's going to make the community safer.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So, and just a real quick scheduling note. So next week we have another board meeting, which is our second Tuesday. We do not have a board meeting on the 4th Tuesday of the month, because we will be doing our budget workshops on the 28th and the 29th here in the council, in the board chambers, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. So the agendas for those will go out the week before. So anybody who's interested in knowing more about our budget, we're going to be doing some public meetings to hear the presentations from all of our departments and what our budget's going to look like for 26, 27. So